Most of you know me. I'm Debbie Miller. I'm the director of the Addiction and Recovery team. I'm also the pastoral care coordinator here at the church. And then I'm also a therapist at Samaritan Counseling Center in Lancaster, right on Oregon Pike. So today is an Addiction and Recovery Forum following last night's Addiction and Recovery Mass, which we're doing on a quarterly basis. And we have completed 4 this year, since February. Every 3 months we have a Mass on a Saturday night, forum on a Sunday morning, making it an A&R. I am affectionately referring to it now as an A&R weekend. So we're focusing on addiction and recovery issues. The team, the addiction and recovery team at St. James, is comprised of Chuck and Missy Smith, Linda Groff, David Miller, Kelsey Martin, and lots of clergy support from Father Rick, who is off this weekend, but texted me last night just a few minutes before the Mass and just said, you know, God be with you, we're doing great things. We have finished a year of training with Goal Project's faith initiatives. I'm just going to let you see here kind of what we have done in the last year. We completed that survey in the early spring that 104 of you responded to. We got a good feel for how things are and what the needs are here in our parish. We've been holding the quarterly masses and forums. We've completed the training with Goal Project. We now do kind of a quarterly cohort with some of the other churches that have completed the trainings that we have. So we meet with other local churches that are basically doing stuff in their local church. We get ideas from one another. We find out what's working well. We find out what challenges they have. We get ideas from each other. It's kind of it's a nice time to just help one another and hear what other churches are doing. This morning, I woke up and checked Facebook because that's probably my addiction. And Episcopal Recovery Ministries had a great quote, which has now disappeared. And I thought of all of us at St. James trying to be a good, welcoming, destigmatized place for individuals with substance use disorders. And this is what it said. A lot of people have gone further than they thought they could because someone else thought they could. So we're the someone else's that think they can. And I really think St. James can be that kind of place. Last night we had all grape juice at a Mass. And people's spiritual needs were met just in that one little tiny step that we could take. I was EMing, and as I was holding the chalice, a woman approached me. I don't know who she is, and she looked at the wine, the juice, and she looked at me and she said, "Is this grape juice?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And she participated in the Eucharist because we've made that little change 4 times a year. That's the little stuff. Today we're going to talk about the tougher stuff, the conversations, right? What we're going to do today, David's going to lead us. We took from a training that we took as a parish with faith initiatives, how to have a hard conversation with 6 simple steps, and basically kind of maybe what to expect or not to expect. So I'll turn it over to David. We're going to also ask for your feedback about how these conversations have been for you. Thanks. We're glad you're here.
Hey, great to see you here in the middle of the snowstorm. Wasn't expecting that this morning. Hopefully you can all get home safely. So one of the questions on the survey had to do with conversations with individuals with substance use disorder and asked, have you had a conversation with someone, and it went from 1 to 6 or more, something like that. And I think 78% of us, the responders, had talked to a loved one, a friend, a neighbor, a coworker about their substance use disorders. It's hard to have a conversation with someone about this topic. It doesn't come easy. It's not natural for us. And so what we're going to do today is go through a tool. It's a simple tool to help us talk about these issues and help us become a community that can address these issues, and it will help us be a place of healing. And it's called See It, Say It. It's from, where is it from? Michigan or something like that. Minnesota. I knew it was an M. Right, so it's 6 steps, and they all start with I. And it's really important. Anybody who's had any experience with this will tell you that you use I messages when you talk to someone. Keep the focus on yourself and how you feel. That can lower the defensiveness of the person that you're speaking with. The first one is, I have to get my glasses on for this, my old man glasses with the magnet on here. The first one is I care. And when Lissa was talking about her experience, I noticed that the first thing she said was they got together and they were going to tell the person how much they loved her and how important she was to them, and the effect that she was having on their lives. So these steps aren't necessarily meant to be in sequential order. You don't have to read the script and go down the list from one to the other, but it does help to start with I care. Don't just plunge into your list of grievances with the person. You want to start out with your relationship and how much they mean to you, to kind of have a basis for the rest of the talk. The next step is I see. This is where you actually talk about a behavior or a situation that you observed that you're concerned about. And this whole thing is about sharing the concern. It's not necessarily to fix them or to get them to go to treatment or whatever, although it would be great if they chose to do that. But this is just sharing your concern, and hopefully that can maybe plant a seed in someone's mind, and if they hear the same concern from someone else, then that seed will grow, and that they might think, oh, maybe there is something to this. Maybe I should look at this and take some action. So that's another reason why a lot of people in the same community, if they have this tool, can they can talk to maybe the same individual and go at it from a lot of different directions and have a kind of a cumulative effect on that person. So keep the focus on the behavior, not the person. Present the facts and not your impressions. So here you're just saying, this is what I observed. You're not making any judgments. You're not saying this means that you're using, or this means that you're on a bad path. It's just observing the behavior. Maybe it would be something like, hey, we meet once a week for coffee, and you've missed the last 2 weeks, and you had the excuse that you were sick, you had the excuse that you were too busy, but that's a change from how you usually are. So I'm just saying that. I'm not making a judgment. Maybe you were sick, but I'm concerned about it. And that's all you have to say for that. The third one is I feel. And these are all on the cards in front of you. It looks like most of you are looking at one of those. I feel. How does the behavior make you feel? Keep the focus on yourself again. And this removes any sense of blame or shame from the person, because it's not focused on them. It's sharing your feelings. And here you could be set for or be prepared for a variety of responses. It may be silence. It may be some recognition on the part of the person. It may be that they get up and walk out at this point, and that's okay. This is a long process. It doesn't get solved with one conversation, but hopefully you developed a sense of that person can trust you, and they'd be willing to continue the conversation at a later time. So you may only get to number 3, and then the conversation is over. Don't give up. Keep in relationship with the person, and maybe have that conversation again, and hopefully they will begin to trust you and then open up to you as you keep talking to them. The step 4 is I'm listening. So after you identified a behavior or a situation, just listen. Listen to what they have to say. Let them share their feelings or their explanations. And again, you don't have to fix them. And they may come up with excuses or reasons why they're doing the behavior. Just allow them to say those. Don't try to argue with them. Don't try to fix it in the moment. But just listen, and that will also allow it to be more of a safe space for them. If they know that they can share something with you and you're not going to jump all over them and add to that pile of shame that they might have already. And then step 5 is I want. And here you can suggest some options for the person. If you have a kind of a repertoire of resources, and that's one of the reasons we have some resources. We have some resources in the back from Goal Project. I think we have lists of other resources from different meetings that are available to therapists, to the Drug and Alcohol Commission in the county. You may want to make a suggestion, and sometimes that's the best thing you can do, is to take the ownership off of yourself, because you don't have to fix a person, but a professional might be able to give them some help, or them going to a meeting might be, an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting might be a big help for them. So you don't have to fix it yourself. You can refer to other resources. And the final step is I will. And this is committing to kind of standing by the person. I will commit to being with you through this situation. It could be giving them a ride to a meeting or a therapist. It could be moral support. It could be arranging a meeting with someone else. What are you willing to do to help them? This can help the person realize that, hey, I do have this support. I can rely on this person if I'm ready to take the next step. So that's the 6 steps. And again, if you're having a conversation with someone, you might not be able to get through all 6 steps. But it's a good start, and hopefully the effect can be, like I said, cumulative, and then as we walk with people in this community through their struggles, we can be together and speak with one voice and be helpful to people. So the next thing we're going to do is some role plays. And Debbie and I are going to do those. You don't have to do it. But we have a scenario, and we're going to do 2 different role plays. The first one is maybe, well, you'll see. There's going to be a difference between the 2. And we'll discuss the differences after we've done both of them. Right? Or we're going to stop in the middle? Okay. So
the setting is I'm a wife to my husband over there. He's going to come home from work. This is our living room. We don't have comfortable furniture. But, and I'm in long-term recovery, which is important to know. So I have several years of sobriety, okay? And he's going to come home, and we'll go from there.
Oh, hi, honey, you're home early. What a surprise.
Hi.
So, why are you home early?
I had it at work. And I couldn't be there another minute, and I left at lunch.
Pretty stressful at work? Stressful time?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
What the hell
so
is
I stopped and got some wine on the way home. I just needed to.
You got
I
wine
needed
on the
to
way home?
decompress. Yeah, it's been really.
Seriously?
busy. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? After what you've been through, and of course you have a history in your family of alcoholism. Your mom was
David, I
a
just
raging
needed to
alcoholic.
unwind.
And now you're,
It's been a really busy couple of months. We're short-staffed. We've got a lot
Okay.
of demands.
so
I've got
your
a lot
job
of
is
demands.
stressful.
Yeah.
Is this the answer? Destroying your life and our life as well.
I'm sorry I'm
By
destroying
drinking.
your life.
Okay. That's it. Then enough talking from you. This is what's going to happen. You're going to go to therapy. You're going to go to a meeting.
I had a glass of
Where's
wine
your phone? Get
on
out
a
your phone.
stressful day, and I need a shrink.
Yeah, of course. You need help. So I know you have a sponsor. Call your sponsor. Get your phone out now and call the sponsor.
Well, she can't help me with all the problems I have at work.
Well, then go to therapy.
I don't need a shrink for having a glass of wine
Oh,
on a
right.
stressful day.
Well, I can't deal with all the stuff that happens when you start drinking. Stuff doesn't get done at home, bills don't get paid, we're running out of money because of all the things that you're doing. Oh, man, I've had about enough of this. If you're not gonna go get help, I'm about done.
You're gonna leave because I had a glass of wine
That's what
on
I'm
a
saying.
stressful day.
You take care of that. Goodbye.
Okay, that was version 1. Is not indicative of what our conversations are ever like at home. Our neighbors will not speak otherwise. We pay them off. Although when we were practicing this and our adult daughter was listening in, she was kind of chuckling. I think there were moments in our lives that we may have sounded like that. Okay, so this is version 2. We have to keep this off for filming purposes. All right, so pay attention to language that we use, spoken and unspoken. Yeah, we'll have feedback from y'all after version 2. Okay.
Hi, honey. You're home early. That's a nice surprise. Oh. You seem a little stressed.
Yeah, I could not be at work for another minute. We're up against such a crazy deadline. I do not remember the fourth quarter being like this last year. I had to get out of there at lunchtime.
Yeah, I know that it's been stressful for you for the last couple of weeks, or even longer. Are you starting to feel overwhelmed?
Yeah, we're short-staffed. There's bigger demands. I don't remember it being this stressful before.
Hey,
Yeah, well, I stopped and got some wine on the way home. I just really thought I needed to unwind.
that concerns me.
I know, but it's fine. I just had one or two or three glasses.
Hey, you know I love you, and you've been married for how long? 31 years?
80.
80? It seems like 80. I'm a little afraid, actually.
Darren, I don't think you have anything to worry about. I stopped. I had a couple glasses and I stopped, and it was just helpful to unwind. I don't think it's going to be anything like it was before. I'll be okay.
Yeah, I want you to be okay too. But I know that you know what happens next.
I know. I'm not where I was before.
Okay, that's good. What works for you? What would work for you to do for the next step?
I don't know.
Could you go to a meeting? I'd go with you to the meeting.
I mean, I don't think I need a meeting. It's been years since I've had to be at a meeting.
What about calling your sponsor?
I could call my sponsor.
Okay.
Yeah, I could call my sponsor. Like, maybe next week.
Okay. I think maybe sooner would be better.
Okay.
Can I check in with you later on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not calling her tonight. I'm okay tonight. If I'm still feeling this way tomorrow, maybe I'll call her.
Okay, great. You know I'm here for you.
I know.
I want you to be healthy.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I know. There's a contemplative prayer meeting at St. James on Tuesday.
Well played.
Maybe we could go to that. You've always loved meditation.
No, that would
really
be
sounds-
helpful, and I've kind of gotten out of sync with that, so that would be helpful.
Great.
Yeah, I would do that.
I love you.
Yeah,
We can
I
do
know,
this together.
I know, yeah, thanks.
All right. Okay. Oh, and by the way, when we were doing the two scenarios, the first one, we had it down like one ten. The second one was really hard, and we didn't want it to be like cut and dry. Like I would confront her and make a suggestion, and she would miraculously make a turnaround and be cured by my one conversation. So we tried to give it some balance. All right, I think it's time to close. Do you want to close with the prayer, Debbie?
Sure. Yeah, so this is my prayer from the Book of Common Prayer for the victims of addiction that I've shared with you all before, that I used to close out my recovery group with. For all of us, the last part of this is about for those who love them, right? Give patient understanding and preserving love. Yeah. So let's pray. The Lord be with you.
And also with you.
O gracious Lord, you minister to all who came to you. Look with compassion upon all who through addiction have lost their health and freedom. Restore to them the assurance of your unfailing mercy. Remove from them the fears that beset them. Strengthen them in the work of their recovery. and to those who care for them, give patient understanding and preserving love. Amen.